In this video, I'm going to be building and reviewing the brand new $300 LEGO Batman Arkham Asylum set. And with its 16 minifigures, nearly 3,000 pieces, and its depictions of the criminally insane, solitary confinement. But all of these minifigures are the minifigures who take away the studs from other minifigures, if you know what I mean. But does all of this, along with its 18+ age rating, make this the darkest set LEGO's ever made? The back of the box shows you some of the different rooms inside, as well as the top shows you the 16 minifigures. After opening the box, there are a bunch of bags and a box inside of the box, and in the box inside of the box are more bags, coming out to a total of 24 numbered bags. And with this many stickers, bro, I swear I'm gonna be checking myself into Arkham by the end of this video. The instructions are kind of bland, but I do like the character bios inside. Building the first few bags actually doesn't build Arkham, but instead builds this little Arkham van. The first reference is the set number of the original Arkham Asylum set. And the license plate is actually a reference to the Batman number 25 comic book. I like the Arkham Asylum branding on the sides, and on the inside, there's room for a driver and a passenger. Leave it to Arkham Asylum staff to be just the most unprepared. That is not stopping Killer Croc. You can open up the two doors in the back to put in this gurney. And instead of putting Joker in it, the instructions actually have you putting in the security guard. But this will only ever remind me of that first scene from Arkham Asylum. The Joker's hair is very oversaturated, and he unfortunately doesn't have an alternate face, but he does have his bang gun. And this is not the first time you're going to be seeing this jumpsuit. You get two unnamed security guards, and these are definitely two of the blandest figures in the set. I would have preferred Aaron Cash or something. But after driving up to the Arkham grounds, you are first greeted by this huge Arkham Asylum gate and sign. And yes, those are all stickers. I can already feel myself going crazy. The set tells you to pose both Batman and Robin up on this sign. And I gotta admit, this Batman figure is very underwhelming. It's one we've gotten before, except for that cape. And while I do like the posability that cape does offer, that is the only pose he can be in, because they don't give you an alternate cape. Robin has a similar pose with his cape, and it does have the same problem. But I do like how it's two different colors, and with his alternate expression and posable midi legs, I think he might be the best figure in this set. This caution sign is not only a reference to the Arkham games, but is also similar to what they have outside of real prisons. And since we don't get him in this set, this reference to Clayface is kind of diabolical from LEGO. And this is the first time I remember seeing these little gargoyle pieces. And I like how they use these hot dog pieces to show the bars bending. But after opening up the two large gates, you're led right into the courtyard. This sewer grate has a reference to Killer Croc with the claw marks. The Killer Croc minifigure is kinda underwhelming. I would have liked it if they had given us a unique torso and not just the full jumpsuit. But this is our first time seeing him in minifigure form since the original Batman wave. And this angel statue is a reference to the Gabriel statue, but by turning the head around, you can see where Joker has graffitied on it. Bro, don't do my boy Gabriel dirty like that. On the right side, there's this watchtower and a sign that Joker defaced, but the security cameras in the set look really realistic and are all over the build. Turning the whole set around, you can go to the alleyway. And bro, who is the groundskeeper on Arkham? Fix these freaking holes in the wall. Slacking on the job. Mr. Freeze is creating a little snowman. We've gotten this version of Mr. Freeze before, and while I do like his light blue oxygen tank, that helmet is just not doing it for me. And the Diddler vandalized this back door. There's the same dumpster build that we've seen in other superhero modular buildings. This one has a comic book in it, which funny enough is the first Batman Christmas story, which is a strange coincidence given that this set has 24 bags, making it an advent calendar. And there's also a few Lego studs in here, which is a reference to the LEGO Batman video games. And the final thing this dumpster has is this strange looking piece. If you put it onto this pipe, it makes this the first ever inverted modular building, meaning it can be in a corner. And since this is a modular building, you can just take off each of the different levels. On one side of the ground floor, you have the security office. And bro, this is where the solitary confinement is, the padded cell. I like how they use the ingot pieces to show that padding. And you can just stick Joker in here. Bro, they are not letting him escape again. Do not let Unk out.
Michael, don't leave me here.
Next to this, there's a little bulletin board, and I bet Joker's pretty funny. I'd go and watch his stand-up.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Underneath this desk, there's a reference to Professor Radium. Also on the floor is another reference to Clayface. Bro, why is LEGO doing this to us? And on the mugshot wall, there's a reference to King Shark, who broke the height record. The darkest reference in this room is that the clock is set to the same time when Bruce's parents lost their LEGO studs. And that marks the day Bruce became an orphan. The desk has a reference to Batman Returns, and behind it are a bunch of TVs that show the different security cameras. The first, I think, is a reference to the Arkham games. The second shows Scarecrow pouring his fear toxin into a water cooler on the second floor. And the third is Bane lifting some weights. The Bane figure is kind of the same story as Killer Croc. I would have liked to seen his bare chest. Wait a minute. And I don't know, guys, do you think Bane is natty or not? But based on how small he is here, I think he might be natural now. Wait a minute. Oh shoot. To get into the cell block, you have to go through an x-ray machine, which shows that somebody swallowed a spoon. 3 cells on the ground level can be opened by pulling on the dumpster. And to see them a little bit better, you can take out each of these panels on the back. At first I thought that this was like a Wayne lottery ticket, but I think it's for financial help, because I don't think Batman would be encouraging gambling. There's also a big poster for the Daily Planet, which, cross your fingers, that's next year's superhero modular building. And finally, there's a reference to Catwoman from Batman Returns. And we actually do get a Catwoman minifigure in this set. I like how this looks like her design from the Arkham games. But this isn't the best version of her we could have gotten since her mask is printed. And she has some cat treats. I bet they've got good protein though. It looks like one of the inmates escaped. And it looks like they did it using that spoon, which I think is actually a reference to Escape from Alcatraz. Only one of the cells on this ground floor actually gets a bed, because in the last one, an inmate has left the asylum and folded up their jumpsuit. Joker vandalized the no sign, which has references to Two-Face, Penguin, the Mad Hatter, and Mr. Freeze. Bro, they gotta stop teasing these villains that they've never given us. And the only way to get to the top floors is this ladder. There's also a Vote for Harvey Dent poster. And just like the first 3 cells, these can be opened using this electrical box in the alleyway, which is a reference to my boy Egghead. Poison Ivy gets her own unique cell, which is completely overgrown by plants. And even some of the vines are coming through the windows. And you can actually pose the Poison Ivy minifigure on the vines. She might be my favorite villain figure in the set, because she has printed legs and alternate expression, and I really like the green hue to her skin. It reminds me of the Arkham games. She was a baddie. Outside of the cells, there's this picture of either Jeremiah or Amadeus Arkham. But like, why is bro mogging like that? And moving from the cell block, there's a reference to both the Court of Owls and to Eraser. There's a menu for the cafeteria which has laughing fish soup, but I would have loved to see the cafeteria in this set. The only office is Dr. Harleen Quinzel's. And while I would have liked to get her in her doctor's outfit, like we've gotten in previous Arkhams, this is the version that we got, which is fine, I guess. I do really like how she's blowing bubblegum, but her office might have the scariest reference of all. Getting a job. Boom! I'll just stick to making LEGO YouTube videos. For some reason, she's got Hugo Strange's doctorate on the wall. Bro, this isn't his office. Get bro out of here. And she simultaneously has Employee of the Month and a wanted poster on the wall for her. How does that work out? There's also a reference to Two-Face, and you can see Killer Croc's file. At the end of the hall is the water cooler that Scarecrow poisoned, and he is another disappointing minifigure. I would have liked to at least seen his hat, and getting a reboot of that original Scarecrow minifigure from the first Arkham Asylum would have been great. You can actually take off the top section of the watchtower. On the inside, there's a little intercom system as well as a bat logo on the screen. And it looks like one of the Arkham guards accidentally drank some of the fear toxin. I wonder what would happen if I drank the fear toxin. What's my biggest fear? Women? And finally, there's the roof. And while the outside is kind of boring with just a water tower, some graffiti, and oh my gosh, bro, I know what my biggest fear is for sure. Collecting all the Riddler trophies in the Arkham games. Bro, I've got PTSD. And we actually get the guy who gave me that PTSD in this set. And while I do like the question marks on his suit, I would have liked to see that continue on the legs. But I'm absolutely going to slime bro after what he did to me in the Arkham games. This is my favorite little bit of graffiti, because it's literally just the penguin's face. This is a new face print for Penguin since the monocle is on the left side, and I like that fluffy bit around his neck, but I would have liked to see his umbrella gun. And bro, the two penguins that he gets in this set are so nostalgic to me. It will only ever remind me of LEGO Batman 2. And this water tower actually uses Sensei Wu's hat, but the majority of the references in the roof are actually in the roof. Here you can find Condiment King's condiments, and you can find the Rizzler's crossword puzzle. I'll just say the Rizzler? I meant the Riddler. And up here on the roof is Batwoman, and honestly, I can't say I'm happy to see her in this set. She's a fine figure, but one we've just gotten so much recently. I would have much rather seen Nightwing in this set, but I do like how her cape makes it look like she's gliding. And finally, we get an exclusive Batwing figure, and while he has gray printing all around, his cowl piece is just a recolor of the normal Batman one. And bro, these are not wings. These are singular feathers. Bro is not getting off the ground with these. Luke Fox? Bro, he's got a pretty cool name. I feel like if anybody's named Luke, he's got to be pretty cool, right? Did you just say wrong? And you can pose all of these minifigures using these transparent pieces that LEGO includes in the set, although the connection points for these pieces are kind of chopped. And since this is a superhero modular building, here it is connected to last year's X Mansion, which I don't think they look very good together because of how similar their design is. Here it is next to the Avengers Tower, which absolutely dwarfs it. And here it is next to the Daily Bugle. And something interesting with the Daily Bugle is that I originally picked up that set for $300, which is the same price as this set is now. Now, of course, there's inflation, but the Daily Bugle does absolutely dwarf this set. Overall, I gotta say the minifigures and the sheer amount of stickers on this set are both the lowest points. The build took me about 5 to 6 hours to build, but the $300 price tag lands this at 10 cents per piece, which isn't great. But for any DC or modular building fan, this has most of what you would want. And do you think this is the darkest set LEGO's ever made? Bro, I wish I was Batman and could just like throw a smoke bomb.